Welcome to Building the Future, hosted by Kevin Horick. With millions of listeners a month, Building the Future has quickly become one of the fastest rising programs, with a focus on interviewing startups, entrepreneurs, investors, CEOs, and more. The radio and TV show airs in 15 markets across the globe, including Silicon Valley. For full showtimes, past episodes, or to sponsor the show, please visit buildingthefutureshow.com.
Welcome back to the show. Today we have Nova Halavins. He's the founder and CEO at AntiLand. Nova, welcome to the show.
Oh, hi, Kevin. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, I'm excited to have you on the show. I think what you guys are doing and have been doing at AntiLand is actually really innovative and cool. But maybe before we get into all that, let's get to know you a little bit better and start off with where you grew up.
All right. So I was born in Latvia.
Okay, very cool.
I grew up there, and this country was a part of Soviet Union until 91. My childhood. Well, these years were wild. When everything fell apart, there was a lot of criminal activity. And so, for instance, when I was 3 years old, my father disappeared for a year and a half.
Wow.
When he appeared, when he came back home, so he told mom that he was afraid that somebody would just kill us, and so he made it look like he didn't have a family. Then he had alcohol problems, and my mother was pretty depressed for many years of my life, I can say that I didn't really have intimate and warm connection with my parents, and I still struggle to connect to other people. I feel pretty anxious while talking to people, while meeting new people. I project the traumatic behavior which I experienced in my childhood. I project it on other people. So let's say when somebody makes a kind of emotion which reminds me of something in my childhood, I am triggered in a flashback. So I'm like, I start dissociating. My mind flies away, and I can lose myself in the conversation.
Interesting. Okay, so walk us through kind of the rest of your childhood into your education, and then I want to dive into your career up until AntiLand.
So I studied at school with a lot of English language. Later I went to university, to Moscow State Institute of International Relationships. So I come from Latvia, but in our region, the most prestige, the most luxurious and best university to get in was particularly this one. And you would have to spend like $50,000 to $100,000 just to get there.
Wow.
But I managed to get there for free because I studied a lot. I was the best student in my school.
Wow.
I also, at the age of 15, I created the biggest educational platform in Eastern Europe. Currently, this educational platform, as far as from what I remember, there was this website, alexa.com, which had ratings of all the websites all over the world. And in the field of education, it was number 4 globally when I looked at it last time. Just because I created it and I was a great student, so like I worked hard, I studied hard. This Moscow institute, this university, they invited me to study there for free, and I was very happy. I studied international economic relationships, and on my so on the second year of my studies, I founded the biggest business social network in Russia. It's called professionally.ru. It's still the biggest. I made an exit from it in 2011. So I entered the university at 2007 and launched the network in 2008 and made exit in 2011. So just 3 years after that. After that, I founded one of the biggest daily deals websites in Russia. It was called Shopaholic. It was acquired in just 6 months after I launched it.
Wow.
Was acquired by a billionaire's structure, and we integrated it into a group of companies with 30,000 employees. So it had this group of companies had a bank, a loyalty club, like a retail chain, so in 2014, when these political issues started happening between Russia and Ukraine, this Crimea question, everything just fell apart. All these smart and educated foreigners I knew, which had executive positions in Moscow and in many companies, in startups, in big companies, most of them left the country. The currency in Russia devaluated by more than 50%. All the stocks fell, and personally, so I suffered not just from that, but also because the group of companies of which we were a part of, it also fell apart. They found themselves in more than $1 billion debt. They couldn't they couldn't return, and so their creditors they took over all these companies, including mine, and they thought at that time that all these internet companies are not a priority for this group of companies.
Interesting.
And I found about that from mass media, and when I found out about that, I had a very serious issue in my back. Like I was stressed so much, I couldn't sleep.
Wow.
And so one of the discs in my spine, L5S1, is in the lower back. It was blown up, and the contents of it completely blocked the right nerve, the nerve of my right leg, and I couldn't walk for 2 months.
Wow.
At that moment, I had to reconsider everything I was doing, and one of the best choices I made at that time was to give up on Russia and go to the United States. I was dreaming about moving to California since I was a kid, but Russia had a lot of potential, and like it's an emerging market, you know, it was an emerging market where everything was growing like mushrooms, you know, and you could, well, if you did the right thing, you could get rich really fast. And so I was tempted by this, and I suffered from it as well. So when I had this problem with my back and I couldn't walk, I thought, okay, so I'm gonna change something in my life. I don't want to end up like this, stress so much, you know, take so much risk, and I want a safer place for myself and also for my soul. And for my soul, I started building an app. It was actually my first mobile app. I bought a book on Swift. It's a language that helps you build apps for iOS, for Apple phones.
Yeah.
And in 2 weeks, I launched a very, very simple app with a very simple idea that you can send a message anonymously to any of your friends, and they can reply to it, not knowing who the founder of this conversation is.
Interesting.
And so and I launched it, and in just a few days, a lot of people started like playing with it, and even the editor of one of the biggest TV channels in Russia got a message from one of his friends, which was a joke. But this joke. So they made an article about that online. they wrote a post about it, about this joke and how silly this app is that I built. And well, it attracted a lot of traffic. And when this traffic got inside of this app, so I made it a chat room, one group chat for all these people, and called it support. So that everyone could send a message there and tell me what they think about the app or what should I change there. And people were not talking about the app. They were just started meeting each other. They started talking to each other and having fun. Like complete strangers started talking about all kind of stuff. And the engagement increased significantly. And then I started creating more group chats for them based on their interests. And the engagement increased again. So I was there just, you know, trying to help people communicate and have fun. And I had my fun myself. And so later in several months after that, I completely turned off this functionality of anonymous messages to your friends because it was not important anymore. People started using the app for a completely different purpose. They started talking anonymously to random strangers, not to their friends, but to random strangers. And I found it even more therapeutic for myself. So at first, the idea was why I wanted to let people share something anonymously. So the problem was, so at that time, I was still like, these were my last days in Russia. Like in just a few months after that, I left. But so these were the last days, and I had money in one of the banks, which I knew was going to bankrupt in a week. So I knew that because I knew the shareholders of this bank who took all their money out of this bank.
Okay.
And I knew like a lot of my friends held their money in this bank. And I also knew the laws that, well, like if you publish something like this online, you're gonna provoke like a massive panic, and so people won't be able to get their money out at all. And so I just wanted to notify a few of my friends about this, so that they would be able to take care of their money. So when I launched it, so people started using it for other reasons as well, not really good ones. I don't mean like many people started using it. I would say like about 5%. And that became the first and big challenge for this app. So like anonymity gives a lot of space for being your true self, for being able to share something honestly and openly, like not being afraid of any judgment. Because, like, well, you can say, so in AntiLand, you can join AntiLand and say something like, you can reveal all your secrets, all your weaknesses to other people. And nobody will ever find out that behind this avatar of like a turtle or a lion, there is this guy, Kevin Horek.
Yeah, interesting.
Or Nova Halavins. Nobody will be able to find this out, and so it's a great tool to share what's hidden deep inside of you. But anonymity also provides space for criminals, for prostitution, for drug trafficking, right? So
Sure.
And I thought, no, I don't want my network, which was built for particularly different and very, very good reason. I don't want it to become a place for that dirt. And so I made a mission that I need to make it the safest anonymous chatting app in the world. And I started building different algorithms, and I built more than 600 different algorithms analyzing the behavior of the users. There's also machine learning on top of that, which main priority is to make the place safe. And so how do we know that the place is safe? We have different metrics to track the satisfaction of our users and like their mood in the app. And we want to make sure that even the most sensitive people can feel good in the app. They can feel safe communicating to other people anonymously. These algorithms, they're very strict. If you look at our reviews, we have, in the United States alone, like on the App Store, we have 80,000 reviews. On Google Play, I don't remember, maybe 30,000. But total, we have around 300,000 reviews globally. And our average rate is 4.2. And most of the people are super excited about how they can connect to other people, how can they meet other people like authentically, and like not being afraid of judgment. Like it's the pure, the true connection. So when you're open and honest, when you don't hide anything. And so, but the most of the 1-star reviews, literally like 90% of them come from the people who were banned from the network. And they complain that like we're too strict, we're like, somebody compared me to a Nazi just for creating filters which do not allow that person to share porn in the app.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
That's yeah. Well, that's funny. That's funny. But so this is like the drawback. So like we managed to create a safe environment, but you can't talk about everything you want there. So like you can't talk about any illegal stuff there. You can't talk easily about sex, even if you like a person. If you like a person, you want to talk about sex, you have to have some interactions with each other. And when the system believes that you're not harmful to each other, then you can establish more intimate connection, build a family, whatever. Yeah, actually, this app helped a lot of people to build families. Our first marriage was when we had only 10,000 downloads.
Wow.
And people, so they were from completely different regions, and they would never meet each other on apps like Tinder, Badoo, like Match, or Facebook. So they wouldn't be able to meet there because of how these networks are structured. But AntiLand is structured so it's based mostly not on where you come from or like who are your friends. It's mostly it connects you with the people who have similar interests to you. And how do you find out about your interests? Well, it depends on how you communicate in the app, what you're talking about, and so the app is trying to adapt to you and help you find group chats and communities, which would be a good place for you and for your soul.
Interesting. No, I think it's actually quite fascinating that you've created this community with anonymous chat that has like tens of millions of users using this thing. And obviously, I think in today's day and age, with all the controversy going around with other apps and moderation being kind of at the top of your priority list and making sure that, illegal stuff or bullying or other things that aren't acceptable, people get banned from, I think is super important. And I think you touched on this, but I want to mention it again, is with that, when tens of millions of people using an app all the time, what do you think your kind of secret sauce is to keeping those people engaged? Because I think a lot of new apps have trouble just getting people to download it, never mind keep coming back and using it. Do you think it's the safety around everything? Do you think it's a bit of the fact that they can be truly anonymous? Is it a handful of things, or what's your thoughts or recommendations for others that are trying to do something similar?
So this is not the first company I created. So every IT company I created attracted millions of users.
Right.
So the secret sauce is not about anonymity or a future or marketing. It's not about that at all.
Okay.
The secret sauce is just solving your personal problems and the problems of your clients. It's not about finding a market and creating a future which would attract as many people as possible. I'm not into that. I created the app for myself. I wanted to share some stuff anonymously. And I couldn't find any decent app anywhere which would do what I wanted. So if there was an app like that, I would use it. So that's for sure. I use different apps. I don't build them all the time. So, but I build stuff when I can't find a solution on the market. So whatever you're struggling from, like whatever problem you have in your daily life, solve it. Just solve the problem, and don't look around. I mean, like don't try to compete with others. Just make the best possible product to solve your damn problem.
Interesting. I think that's actually really good advice, because you could spend so much time focusing on what your competitors are doing, where you lose focus of your roadmap and your true vision for what you're trying to do. You might succeed, you might fail, but at least at the end of the day, you know that you stuck with your true kind of vision, correct?
Correct. And at the end of the day, like it's also like if you're solving your problem, so you at least you're achieving something because you're solving your problem. Well, I mean, so even like if you didn't reach the market, at least you solved the problem.
Interesting. Yeah, no, I 100% agree. That's interesting. So how do you guys monetize the platform then? Because that's got to be tricky in itself.
Yeah, in the beginning, so I decided that there wouldn't be no ads in the app.
Okay.
Like I hate ads. I hate them. They distract my attention. So it's like they're manipulating me. I hate it. It's interfering in my mind. And so I thought, okay, so there will be no ads. And I thought, okay, I don't even know if I thought I didn't even know if I was going to monetize it at all. I just wanted to make a service that would help people expressing their true selves. And but when we started growing really fast, and my servers started crashing like every day, I thought, okay, so so my burn rate increases, and probably next month I'm gonna sell my apartment just to keep the app growing.
Interesting.
Well, I had there was this moment in it was in the beginning. Yeah, it was December 2015. So I launched the app in May 2015 in Latvia. Then in the United States, it was released in September. But
Okay.
in December, so in just 3 months after releasing it globally, I looked at the numbers and I thought, okay, so I have 3 months to survive. I mean, I need to find a solution. Either I raise capital or I monetize the app. But my previous experiences in raising capital, well, so I raised capital 9 times already.
Okay. Wow.
So I dealt with different people, and not all investors are kind and supportive.
Yep.
Some of them are here to screw you, and you don't know that until they're just having the right time to do that. Well, I didn't want to risk that, and I also knew that if you have only 3 months to find capital, well, there is a really high chance of getting a bad investor.
Interesting.
And so I thought, okay, I will focus on monetization. But I don't want anyone to pay for the service. I don't want anyone to pay for the functionality we have now. And I thought, okay, but which functionality should they pay for? I want everything to be free. How do I make it possible? And I just reached out to the audience and I asked them, okay, guys, like I have a problem. I'm about to go bankrupt in 3 months. What would you like to pay for?
Interesting. Smart, but interesting. Okay, so what did you hear back?
Yeah, and so this network it offers and offered at that time so different cute avatars when you join the app. So you join the app and you choose one of many avatars. So these avatars are adorable. They're all smiling, and these are like different birds, animals, insects, even dragons.
Sure.
And personally, I spent 4 hours on each of them designing the concept of each of them. So because like we need to, we need to fit a kind of image, very recognizable image in 16 to 16 pixels.
Right. Sure. It's
So
challenging.
how do I make it look? How do I make a cat look like a cat? And so it was a challenge, and well, we managed to do that, uh, and so the clients they said like, well, why don't you make us some exclusive avatars which we would be able to buy for money? And I thought, well, that's not a problem. That's not a problem at all. But then I thought, well, how about differences, class differences in people? Like, isn't it going to emphasize it? Or
Oh, interesting.
how do I make this real? What they want me to do, and also make it possible for anyone to get it for free. And so that's how I came to this karma system. Karma system, well, several different apps have their scores or karma. So in our app, it works like this. You do good deeds to our community. So you help us grow. And you chat, you help other people. You're like being kind to them, empathic, and other people are happy about how you're communicating to them. You get karma for this, karma points.
Okay.
And karma points are like your social status in the app. And so the more karma points you have, so probably the more chatty and, well, kinder person you are in conversations. And you can not just collect karma, but you can also spend it on upgrading your profile. So that's how you can change your avatar. You can even put different accessories on top of that. It looks really cool. Like when you go into the app, it feels like Burning Man in your pocket. Like, so different communities, and people wear different masks and different accessories, which look really strange and funny, and they just chat about everything they want. So to get the most exclusive avatars, so like dragons, you have to either spend about 2 years chatting, helping our community grow, and then you can get it. So on average, it takes 2 years for a person to get a dragon for free.
Okay.
Or let's say you can spend $2,000 and get it for the money. That's your choice. If you spend the money, you also help us grow. You actually help us survive. You help us pay for the servers. You help me hire new, smart, interesting people onto the team to make this app better. When you help our community, you get different exclusive ways of expressing yourself through your social image in this app.
Interesting. And okay, so no, that's an interesting. I guess it's not really any different than in kind of the freemium model that the video game industry's adopted, correct? Like you play for free, there's in-app purchases, or you can kind of just keep playing and working through the levels until you can get something for free based on, in your case, karma. But is that kind of fair to say?
Yeah, it's similar to that, but most of these games, they part of the content, like it's impossible to get it for free. Like it's they either sell it for money only, or the number of points you need to get is so high that you just can't do that. The general idea, so it's a bit of gamification, so it's a bit of RPG in this app. So these avatars, they're help people to role play with each other, and so they collect different points. They can spend these points on different stuff. Actually, we also have like artifacts. It's you can like buy like a rose or a teddy bear and send it to someone. It will be like his artifact in the app. It will also be shown on his profile. It's a bit of gamification.
Got you. So I'm curious then, how do you decide which new features to actually roll out? Because any major changes that you make to an app of this size with this many users can go over very well, or the complete opposite of that.
Please correct me if I'm wrong. You asked me about the challenges. Because I just I feel that I want to sleep, and sometimes I just like flying away, seeing a dream while we're talking. The challenges. Again, it's the biggest challenge of our network is the fact that we're working in the field of anonymity. And currently, so our filters and our machine learning, our team of moderators, we have more than 80 moderators in the app. They work really, really well. In comparison to other apps, if you just search like chat on the App Store, you can find a lot of other apps. Or Anonymous. Search for Anonymous and download every app, and you can find so much inappropriate stuff immediately. It's shocking. Well, it's actually shocking that even even on Instagram and Facebook you get inappropriate stuff still. On AntiLand, like we filter like too much. We're just our position is that we better filter more content than we miss something. But different countries and different authorities, they are afraid of this word anonymity. And for instance, now there is a challenge in Korea, in South Korea for us. So we received a letter from their government demanding us to remove the app from their store, from a Korean app store, until we verify our clients using documents.
Interesting.
That's I think that's actually a really smart request. I personally believe that it would be wise to verify every user on the internet using a document, just to prevent them from doing the illegal stuff. but here, we filter so much already, and like we're the safest anonymous app out there, and they just don't like the word anonymous, and they want our clients not to be anonymous. Well, I believe that later, maybe a few other Asian countries may join the same path. Well, China, they are very, very strict. We're currently available in China, but you have to use VPN. So we're blocked, just like Facebook and other social networking apps by their giant firewall. But so I think so. The image we get from people. So how authorities who don't know who we are, how they see us, is a challenge for us now. And some people in general audience as well. Some people, when they see the app for the first time, they think it's something like a dark net or something, or place for something illegal. But it's completely about other stuff. It's about being able to connect to each other and share what's deep in your heart, anonymously, safely, honestly. It's about that. Some authorities don't understand that, and we have to prove that. We also had to prove that a lot to Apple and Google, because their team of moderators who didn't play with the app enough, who just looked at the title, they also had concerns, and we had to address these concerns and write different legal documents, and also prove, explain to them how it works, why it's safe, and so on. And and we made a success. We made a huge success. In the beginning, in the early beginning, on Google Play, our app was removed 5 times.
Wow.
That was until we figured out all the right algorithms to make Google sure that we're safe.
Interesting. But how do you deal with those countries' requests to pull it out of the store? Do you just kind of ignore them, or how do you handle that? Because in a lot of cases, they can't really dictate what Google or Apple allows in their country store, correct? It's up to Apple and Google.
Yes, well, it is up to them, but so we received this request from Apple. Apple received a request from the Korean government.
I got you.
And then they sent it to us, and they said like, guys, so there's an issue in Korea, and you please address it with the government, or remove the app from the store. And so we started communicating with the Korean government, and it's going to be a long and interesting journey. And until we managed to prove them and explain everything, so we won't be available in Korea anymore. Actually, we removed the app from Korean App Store about 12 hours ago. We received the letter from them in December, and we promised to remove the app by February the 5th if we don't manage to get a kind of approval from Korean government. As to me, in Asian countries, Korea, China, at least in just these countries, the political regime well, the social structure is quite different. Here in the Western world, we respect everyone's rights and privacy, and we still have problems with that, but we are a more open society. But if we're not able to get back to Korea, well, then that's it. If somebody from Middle East does something like that, all right. So they don't want that. They don't want their citizens to be able to communicate to each other in such safe, anonymous environments. So they don't want it. They want to control it. Well, so then it's the choice of their citizens where they want to live.
Yeah, interesting. No, that's actually really quite fascinating. But sadly, we're coming to the end of the show. So how about we close with mentioning where people can get more information about you guys and AntiLand, and actually download the app and try it out?
Yeah, so you just go to Google Play or Apple Store and search for AntiLand, ANTI land, or you can search anonymous chat. I think we're number one. We've been number one anonymous chat on both platforms all over the world for the last 3 years. So you will see there this a logo there's a cat mask in the message bubble. So it looks like a Batman mask, probably a little bit. And that's us. You just try it. Just open it and join any chat room and just start talking about everything that's deep in your heart. I promise it's going to be a very interesting journey, because even the fact that you just release these feelings from yourself, it's going to be therapeutic for you, even this fact. But you will also get support and understanding from people just like you, and that creates intimate bonds between people, and it's a very pleasant feeling. So I highly advise you to do that.
No, very cool. Well, I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to be on the show, and I look forward to keeping in touch with you, and have a good rest of your day.
Thank you very much, Kevin. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks for listening. Please visit our website at buildingthefutureshow.com to join the free community, sign up for our newsletter, or to sponsor the show. The music is done by Electric Mantra. You can check him out at electricmantra.com and keep building the future.